All right, if you're a cybersecurity leader, you know this feeling, right? It's budget season. That one time of year when you have to justify every single dollar, fight for the resources you need, and all while trying to prove you're not just pouring money into a black hole. And that leads to this huge, nagging question we see all the time. Companies are spending millions, tens of millions of dollars on security, and they're still getting hit with these massive breaches. How is that even possible?
Cybersecurity veteran Ross Young just nails it with this quote. The answer isn't just a bigger check. The problem is way more fundamental than that. It's not about having more money, it's about using smarter money. And believe me, that one little shift in thinking changes absolutely everything.
So let's get right into the playbook. We're going to start by unpacking that spending paradox, then we'll shift our thinking to something called a revenue protection mindset. After that, we'll get into a practical budgeting framework, a way to prioritize, and finally, how to talk like the finance folks to get it all signed off.
Okay, first up, let's dig into exactly why just throwing money at this problem is failing so spectacularly. And you know what? The root cause might actually surprise you. So, check this out. This chart really shows what we can call the dilution problem. A big company might have, 50, maybe even 80 different security tools? That's a lot. But here's the kicker. Look at that huge gap between the number of tools and how well they're actually deployed. Most of them aren't even configured right. We're diluting our own resources, and we're not even getting the protection we paid for in the first place.
So, if buying more tools isn't the answer, what is? Well, it all starts with the huge shift in how you see things.
This right here, this is the big mindset shift. We have got to stop thinking about cybersecurity as just another cost center. Its real job is revenue protection. The goal isn't just to protect some servers and some data. It's to protect the actual income streams of the entire business. Okay, so how do you actually put revenue protection into practice? Well, there's a strategy some folks call the six-shooter method. Instead of scattering your team and your budget trying to fix 50 different things, you focus everyone on just six. Count them, six critical objectives for the entire year. Then every single spending decision gets filtered through two simple questions. Does this reduce our risk, or is this purely for compliance? That kind of focus is how you guarantee you make real, actual progress.
Now let's get into the toolkit and see how we build this out. It's time to throw out the old budget models and bring in a framework that really accounts for every single dollar.
All right, forget CapEx and OpEx for a second. The only thing that really matters here is total cost of ownership, or TCO. It breaks everything down into three really simple parts: your team's labor, the money you pay vendors, and your hosting costs. When you think this way, it suddenly reveals three totally separate levers you can pull to manage your budget. And this is where TCO gets really eye-opening. Just look at this breakdown for a typical old legacy app. A staggering 90% of your team's time can be spent just on maintenance. We're talking just keeping the lights on. That leaves this tiny little 10% sliver for innovation and new features. It's a massive hidden cost, just draining your resources.
But what if you could flip that? What if, by investing in modernizing that app, you could drop the maintenance costs down to, say, 30%? All of a sudden, you've just freed up 60% of your team's time for actual innovation. A one-time project cost creates this incredible long-term return on investment.
Okay, you've got your TCO framework. That's great. But now you're staring at this list of 50 potential projects. How in the world do you decide which ones to actually fund to get the biggest bang for your buck? The answer is a beautifully simple 9-box matrix. You plot every single one of your potential projects based on how much effort they'll take versus the impact they'll have. Your eyes should go straight to that top left corner, the high-impact, low-effort, quick wins. You fund those. Immediately, no questions asked. They're the no-brainers that build momentum. Now, part of prioritizing means you have to assess risk. But let me give you a bit of a hot take here. Trying to quantify cyber risk down to the last decimal point, it often does way more harm than good. It's this whole exercise in false precision that can actually end up destroying your credibility. So what's the alternative? It's a brilliant shortcut, actually. Just walk over to your finance team and ask for their procurement authority levels. What amount can a manager sign off on? A director? A VP? Then you simply align your risk acceptance levels to those exact same dollar amounts. Decisions get faster, and you're automatically speaking a language that the rest of the business already understands. And that brings us to the final and most crucial step. You've built a smart, prioritized budget. Now you have to get it approved by the people who hold the purse strings.
Okay, let's put this all together in a real-world pitch to the CFO. Imagine for a second that you have a key group of customers and they bring in $30 million in annual revenue. And of that group, 30 of them, their contracts require you to have an ISO 27001 certification just to keep their business. It's non-negotiable. And finally, this is how much it costs to get that certification done. A mere $30,000. You see the pitch? You're not walking in asking for money for some nerdy technical compliance task. No, you're asking for a tiny, tiny investment to protect a massive $30 million revenue stream. When you frame it like that, it's not a security decision anymore. It's a simple, powerful business decision. It's a financial no-brainer. So there it is, the complete playbook. It all starts with that big mindset shift to revenue protection. You focus your team's efforts with the six-shooter method, you build your budget using TCO, you pick your battles with the 9-box, and you get it all approved by, you guessed it, speaking the language of finance. So as you head into your own budget planning, I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. What is that one legacy system, that one underused tool? What's the biggest sunk cost you have right now? Because finding the answer to that might just unlock your most effective and defensible budget yet.